Welcome to my studio space, the space I use for my company Bushyl, where I make soap, candles, bath salts, shower steamers, all kinds of stuff that smells good. And I'm going to take you on an updated tour of my workspace and retail space and just talk through how I use every square inch of this little workspace that I have. Before I get into the actual tour, I do just want to note that the light is dwindling. Thank you, daylight savings time. And so I'm gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible, but some of this will just have a lot of magic hour mood lighting, and that was not on purpose. That is simply because I procrastinated starting this today, and now here we are. I forgot that it's mid-November, so didn't plan out the timing quite right. So that's where the mood lighting comes from. Hopefully you can still get a good sense of the vibe of my workspace. Starting here, this right here is the back door, the sort of back entrance to my space, but it's actually the one that I use the most. We do have parking next to the building here, and so I'm usually driving and then I come in actually through Chelsea, who's a photographer. She has the back half of the building. I come through her door a lot more. It's just easier. We have like a key code as opposed to like a door that sticks and has a old-fashioned key. So this is usually how I walk into the space every day. I've got a little bit of storage just on the other side of that door that I'm not going to show you because it's open to Chelsea's half and she's working in there right now. So I'm not going to bother her. It's very basic. I'll see if maybe I can take a clip without talking, but I just have like a lot of supplies back there, like big boxes of packaging, like the tubes that my reed diffusers come in and the tubes that my shower steamers come in. And that's where I put extra wax and some of my extra candle holders. But yeah, it's not presentable. So it sort of is just like its own little nook back there. But that's what's on the other side of that door. Then you can see I have my drying rack, or my curing rack, I should say. I use that for soap, but also we use a lot of those big sheets for shower steamers. Currently, I make a lot more shower steamers than I do soap. I have found that shower steamers are by far my biggest seller, especially since getting on Fair. I don't know what it is, but that seems to be the thing that people come to me for. Maybe it's because my packaging for shower steamers is a little bit different than your standard shower steamer, but we make a ton of shower steamers. We do it right here, between here for mixing up the like mixture for the shower steamers, and then on this big work table next to me, which I'll show you in a second, that's where we use the bath bomb press to press all of the shower steamers. And then they dry on baking sheets for about 24 hours. We usually come in the next day and package them all up to send them off. So this stainless steel table is also for soap making. Stainless steel is really the best surface for making soap if you have that option. So I use this for a lot of different things, but I initially bought the stainless steel table specifically for soap. But this is also where I mix up solutions for reed diffusers, perfumes. It's usually like the measuring and mixing happens here, and then the pouring and like cooling for the candles or whatever waiting process needs to happens on this big work table over here. So that's what is happening back here. I have an oven, which I never use. It's nice to have it as an option. Maybe as the winter hits, we'll make some like warmer foods just to like eat ourselves, but I don't use the oven in any of my production for my products. So the oven is kind of just like an added bonus. If I'm really desperate, I might use it, but otherwise it's kind of just like a surface to set things on. When I make lip balms, I do use a double boiler setup for making lip balms, so that happens on the stove top, but the actual oven's kind of pointless. And then back here is where the wax melter is. I just got a larger wax melter from Makesy, and I have to say I love it. I was really struggling with which size wax melter to get. I looked at Digiboils and even the like really expensive one on Candle Science. But what I loved about the Makesy one is that I felt like it was pretty reasonably priced. It's a good size for the kinds of batches that I make. And because I buy so many products through Makesy, I actually got a huge discount on this because I use their rewards program and I had a ton of points banked up. So if you're looking to upgrade and you already buy like fragrance oils and stuff through Makesy, I would definitely recommend using rewards for something like that because it's just like another one of those overhead costs that it feels good to like, you can't necessarily attribute it to any individual product. So it's kind of nice to get it for as cheap as possible. But yeah, that's a great product. And then you can also see over here, I hang all of my pictures. I try and have a picture for roughly every candle scent. Usually I switch out the seasonal ones, so I keep it similar in terms of like the type of scent that it is. So if something is like sweet or floral, then I sort of like keep the floral ones together from season to season. The like woodsy one stays sort of consistent season to season, just so there's not too much of that, but that's what all of those different pictures are for. I'm also really lucky to have this kitchen area. I have these cabinets back here where I store a lot of ingredients that I access regularly. So these are nice to have. I have a full-size fridge, which again is not used for any of the production that I do for my business, but it's just nice to have as someone who spends a lot of their day here. And then I've got my coffee maker. I've got a dishwasher, which is really clutch. Anyone who makes soap or products like this knows that having a dishwasher to do all of those dishes at the end of the day is a really nice feature. So, and then a nice big sink, which is also great for cleanup because that's like half the job is just cleaning up all of the stuff you use to make your products. So this I use a lot. It's a big, super helpful part of all of this. And then here is just like the little passageway between the back kitchen workspace area and the front retail. And again, I've used as much of the wall space as I can for extra storage. Since it's a little bit of a tight space, I have to like try and use as much vertical storage as I can. This piece I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and I haven't figured out exactly the best way to use it yet. But currently it stores my tubes for shower steamers, which I am constantly restocking because like I said, lots of shower steamers. And then I have this file organizer for, I print off whenever I order new ingredients, I print off the invoice so that when I am ready to update Inventora, I can make sure that I know exactly what like the tax and shipping was. Because sometimes I know what the cost is for the actual item, but if you're not factoring in tax and shipping, especially shipping, to your product price, then you're not getting like a true picture of how much your cost of goods is. So that's why I keep these here so that it's like really easy to access whenever a new delivery comes and I am updating my inventory in Inventora. Say that 5 times fast. And then this side, I'm like so happy for how like perfectly this shelving unit fits in this space. I measured it and found like the exact right thing. So this is just a lot of like, it's a lot of dishware. I'm not gonna lie, I don't use this much dishware. I mostly just kind of like the way it looks. I feel like it adds like a homey touch to the space because I do think that that's something that's super important to me is that like it looks cozy in here as I'm working. Obviously with like a big wax melter and a stainless steel work table, it's hard to make a place look cozy, but I don't want it to feel too sterile and just like no personality in here. And I just sort of like love, I've got some knickknacks from both of my grandmothers, and I've got ceramic pieces from like a bunch of local ceramicists who I love all of their work. So it's just kind of like fun. And then down here, like baskets of like food items and stuff, which probably need to be cleaned out because honestly, I hardly ever go in here and I probably need to be making more use of this space. But that's what all of that is. And this down here, I've got coffee and then some supplies for reed diffusers. I definitely need to reorganize the space. I will say that like I moved in and I sort of put things where I thought they made sense. And now that I've been here for like 10 months, 10 or 11 months, I definitely need to reassess like how often am I using certain things, what needs to be prioritized space-wise, what needs to get like honestly donated. Some things I've held on to because I keep waiting for a reason to use them and I'm not going to use them. And so I'm pretty sure like January through March is going to be like a big like cleaning and reorganization time once the craziness of holiday season has passed. And then this little hallway behind me, it leads to the bathrooms. The bathroom's at the end of the hall. Nothing interesting to see there. But these shelves, again, are a big thing that need to get reorganized. This is sort of like, you know, that like corner of your kitchen counter where all the stuff that you haven't figured out where to put it just like lives, or like bills that you need to pay, or whatever it is, it's just like piled into a corner. That's what these shelves are for this studio. Like products that are maybe like in old packaging, so like I can't put them out anymore, or like I'm just waiting for a place to like figure out where to donate them. Just there, it's all kind of like living here. There's a box full of mica powder, but I don't really use mica in any of my products anymore. But I hate to like throw away a bunch of expensive mica powder. It's like nice stuff. So I kind of just like don't know what to do with a lot of this stuff. And that is a lot of space in a not huge area of things that just don't get used that much. So there is some stuff that I go to regularly. Some of my fragrance samples are here. And as I'm like making custom scents for people or planning out new seasonal scents, I do go to those fragrance samples a lot, but it's like a small portion of what's on there. And then I also have hold on, I'm gonna show you this. One of the things that's back there, even though I pulled it from over here, they're mostly back there. I've started doing little Votive sample candles. They're so adorable. They're just like little tiny white matte tea lights from Makesy. And I do one for all of my candles, so good, for every scent that I have. And then I can send them either to stores that I have not worked with at all. I've done this for like a couple of like cold contact, like when I stop in a store for the first time, I leave behind a bag with like a few samples. Or if somebody orders from me like on Fair and they're in another state, I find that a lot of people's opening orders are for shower steamers because I think it's like a safer bet. Like everybody knows what lavender smells like and everybody knows what tea tree eucalyptus and mint is. So like those two scents for shower steamers, they're not taking a big risk, but I like to include my candle samples because I think candles can like really vary greatly. And I think a lot of shop owners just like aren't interested in placing an order for a candle if they don't know what it smells like. So I have definitely gotten orders for candles doing that, so I highly recommend it. But yeah, those live back there too. Okay, and now we're in the front half of the space, which is set up for retail. I do not currently have retail hours, and it is usually like pretty haphazard in here. Usually it's like very in flux between like things that I'm trying to pack up for wholesale orders. Sometimes there's extra stuff in here that's like from a former season that it just like looks nice in case somebody stops in. If I'm doing like a custom scent for someone, they usually come in this space to meet with me and talk about different things. And so it is nice to kind of have some products around in case I want to reference certain fragrances that I already have in order to like get a feel for things. So this space, yeah, I'm not sure how it's gonna work out long term. I think that the idea of having a retail store is like really romantic and fun, and I feel like it seems like I have friends who sort of tease me about like the Hallmark movie-esque quality of like what I do, and there's definitely an element of that that's like appealing, but the reality of having a retail store, having set hours, the way that dictates my own flexibility in my schedule, I'm not quite ready to commit to the idea. So I'm holding off on that, but it is nice to have this space. I use it for a little bit of storage, and then I also use this to pack up wholesale orders. As you can see, I've like lined up a bunch of wholesale orders here, mostly shower steamers, because once again, those are going like hotcakes. But yeah, otherwise, it's just sort of like a nice space to have for when we do like a pop-up market. I offer local pickup on my website, so if someone in the area wants to order something and doesn't want to pay for shipping, or just wants to come in and see the space, it's a nice thing to have. I really like it, but I am for sure not utilizing it to its full potential at the moment. So we'll see if that changes. One little fun fact, if you are a Practical Magic fan, the movie with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, it is one of my favorite movies of all time. I saw it when I was 13 and I feel like it changed the course of my life. And it's especially funny now that I have a store where I make botanical inspired stuff. I swear that was not a conscious plan, but it is kind of funny. I have this little bread bowl of, mine are fake, I'm sure maybe in the movie they were real, but I have this little bowl of pears because in the store that Sally owns, she has one of these at the register. And it's just like a fun little nod to my inspiration, my ultimate inspiration. I'm just always trying to become a 90s witch is essentially my inspiration. So that's where this come from. Thank you for bearing with me in this dwindling sunlight. My phone that I'm recording on keeps alerting me that there's not enough light, as if I don't know. I hope you enjoyed this little peek at my space. It is always evolving, and I really enjoy the challenge of making the most of every square inch, and just coming here every day is a real joy for me, and I feel very lucky. So I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me today, and I will see you in the next video.